Hello everyone, my name is Nelson. Um, Here I'm talking from East Maitland in New South Wales. Um, I was thinking about installing solar on top of my house from 2018 August because my electricity bill was skyrocketingly high. So I did a lot of research and in the internet. I studied about different types of panels. I studied about different type of inverters. Called different people to get ideas, and I spoke to people who have installed them, and I got different ideas. Then I decided to call some professionals into the house who can install it. So I called upon different people, and I called about four people who can install them. From a couple of them were from Newcastle, a couple of them were locally from here in the Maitland. So they all explained the different options of them. From that experience, what I have understood is mainly that every household has got different requirement of different type of using the electricity. My pattern of electricity use is different, and your electricity use is going to be different. So every individual houses will have to have their own research done about it. The reason why I said this is because, as I said, the electricity usage is different in your house from my house. You need to sit down and look at your electricity bill, have a study about it, have a knowledge about the pattern of electricity that you're using during the day, during the evening hours, during overnight. So you will know how much electricity you're using during the day, how much you're using overnight, and then you can actually design your requirement, which is very important. The reason why I say this is because when you call the installers, they will have their opinion set to you. Of course, they do that very well, but in the other hand, they will talk to you so they benefit for their business as well. So I listened to about 3-4 people. Then I realized that they all had different ideas to me. Then I realized more. Yes, I have to have my own opinion about what I want to do with it. So that's how I sat down. So because they gave me some idea, I sat down and I finally calculated what I wanted, and I concluded that. So for anybody that want to install the solar panels on top of the roof for the electricity, my kind request to them is that, or kind advice to them is that how about 4 people who can install. Ask them to come into the house, have a look around, and they all will give you ideas. But just make sure that you don't tell them that you are calling different people. They may know that, but if they're asking anything about it, don't give any ideas what the other person have told, because then they can mess around with you a bit more. So don't tell them. Just tell them that I am shopping, and that's enough. That's what exactly I've done. I just told them that I'm shopping, so they knew that I was talking to different people. So they actually gave me fairly whatever they can, but I just chose the cheapest option for myself, and it became into the affordability of my budget. Yes. So that's my advice. Have at least 4 people to come into your house and give you different opinions, and their opinion about what they can install. So what they have told me was mainly 2 options. One person told me about Solaredge. The other person told me about Enphase. I was a fan of Enphase myself. Enphase is actually producing electricity on top of the roof, and it converts from DC to AC on top of the roof itself, and it sends down to the grid or to the house, wherever it is required, to be sent. The house comes first, then the excess goes to the grid. But when I further digged more information about the end phase, I did not come cheaper for me. I couldn't afford it. So because it's an investment that you're making, expecting a return for about 10 years or 7 years or even more than that. So you need to be really careful the amount of money that you're adding into it. So that's the only reason I decided that I have to decline and phase. So the next option was for me was Solaredge. Solaredge, when I looked at different options, that I thought that's a good system. It actually have to have an inverter like this, as you see behind me. It's an inverter. In case of end phase, we don't have to have an inverter like that. It actually sends directly into the grid or in the house wherever it is required. So that is an advantage with the end phase, but it's not that cheap. So that's the reason I have the Solaredge, but it's fairly a good system. Solaredge, I'll show you my Solaredge here. Here it is. It's not a massive thing, to be honest. It actually, about, my hand is not that big, so I can imagine how the breadth of it, and it's about 60 or something like that centimeter high. So this is the DC electricity that comes from the top of the house, the top of the roof, and it's feed into that one, and it converts the DC into AC, and that is an isolator as well. And this is AC electricity, so there is the DC goes in here. There is a small switch to switch off there is another isolator there as well. That's the DC isolator. And this is the PV. This is the DC isolator. Sorry, that was my mistake. And this is the AC. So here are some instructions if you want to shut down. It's well written on it, but you don't have to shut down this one, because if there is an outage in the actual grid, the entire system will shut down itself automatically. That's the way it is working, because there are people working on the grid should not get shocked. So it's a simple thing, I have solar panels up in the top there, and this is my Solaredge. So we have different switches here. So I need to read my manual how to operate. Like the different switches, which I know if you press OK, it actually shows what it's producing. Which is producing 2.7 kilowatt of electricity at the moment, which is pretty good for that weather. Look at the sky. There's hardly any sunlight at all, and I have got 44 panels. I particularly oversized it for the purpose of feeding fairly good amount of electricity to the grid, so I can avoid a battery. Battery is another expensive thing as well. You need to have at least 10,000 Australian dollars or more for installation to have a fairly good amount. A fair good battery. So I decided to avoid that one. That's the reason I oversized it. But with the New South Wales government rebate and everything, it came within my affordability. So it's working very well for me. Yes, they are Longi panels. I have Longi 300 watt panels. They are black in color. They are monocrystalline, highly efficient. They are not top of the line, but they are very good, producing fairly good amount of electricity. With the Solaredge app, you have an option of monitoring them individually, so which I do that a lot. So I know what panel is making, how much electricity each day, hour by hour, and all of them are performing more than my expectation, which is really good. Yes, you can see the color. They're black. Nice looking. Right. There's this nice letter. There's a nice letter here, and I got 24 panels in this side, and you can see my inverter on the far side. And there is about 20 panels in this side of the house as well. I have it in 2 angles. You can see they are in the different angles. That's another advantage with the Solaredge as well, that you can connect them to different angles so that you have maximum production in different time of the day, like in the evening when the sun goes to that side. And you can see it's not, yeah, you can see, you can barely see that there. It's there is a little small machine connected underneath each panel. That's called optimizer. It's Solaredge optimizer. They have well tucked that underneath, so you can't see that very well from the bottom. What it does is, that's what it is. You can just barely see that there. What it does is that it actually absorbs maximum amount of electricity out of it, and it actually does the job of optimization and sends to my inverter. Then so it actually makes the inverters it actually helps the solar panels to produce more electricity by optimizing the electricity and then sending to the inverter. So this is all our DC electricity made here, and once it is sent to the inverter, they convert the DC to AC, and then they feed to the grid. I decided to have this many. The reason is oversizing on purpose, so that I have a lot of electricity sent to the grid, so that I can use electricity overnight. The feed-in grid is much lower than what I use overnight, but because I send a lot of electricity to the grid, what happens is I can still use electricity without paying much. There will be a bit of bill, which I did not get my first bill yet, but I'm hoping that to come up probably by February or March, something like that. So then I will know the final result. Hopeful. Right. Thank you. Weather is still very cloudy, very dark looking. There is no sunlight at all. Here it's 4:30 in East Maitland in New South Wales, and that's my panels and my inverter Solaredge HD Wave is still making fairly good amount of electricity, 3.2 kilowatt of electricity, which is very good. Usually when it is very sunny out there, it actually makes 10 kilowatt. It actually pretty much makes 10 kilowatt, because that is one of the benefit of oversizing the solar panels. I have oversized my solar panels so that it makes fairly good amount of electricity to look after the house requirements, and it actually feeds the grid too. So the benefit is that I can use my electricity from the grid overnight. So the bill is going to be very minimal. That's my idea. So you can see the number of panels there. It's all pinged all right, and that's the temperature in here, showing temperature of the inverter, which is 43.4, which is very mild. When this makes 10 kilowatt of electricity, usually the temperature can go up to 75 degrees Celsius sometimes, which all you can feel when you touch it there. But this side it's still cool. This part is made particularly You can see that that part is particularly made to get the temperature out of this machine. That's where it is made. So that's the temperature. And today, so far in that cloudy, it's been cloudy since this morning. There was absolutely no sunlight. It's made 37 kilowatt for today till 4:30, and it is still going to make another 6 or 7 by 6:30 or something like that. And you can see for the last 2 months since I had these, no, not 2 months, 1.5 months, I would say. I have made 2.79 megawatt of electricity, and this month, that is today, is the 5th of December 2018. For 5 days it made 356. So if you divide 356 kilowatt by 5, you will know what this machine is making an average of. It's a good system, and it actually still got more options. It will show you here. So I opted not to connect this with my Wi-Fi, but I have an Ethernet connection directly, which is more reliable. That was just an option. So you can see the LAN connection server is working. That is showing okay there. There is a option for Wi-Fi connection as well, which I did not do it. So I thought whenever I have issues with the Wi-Fi, it would give me trouble. So I just went for that one. So yeah, you can see no Wi-Fi. That's because it is connected by the wired internet connection. Yeah, the port. That's it. So the number is still coming down. You can see it is 2.9. So the number will keep coming down as we approach 6 o'clock, but it is producing pretty good amount of electricity. I can see ditto 10 kilowatt production when there is very good sunlight out there. From 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock, you will see ditto 10 kilowatt electricity production, which is pretty good. Right, thank you. And here again, I thought I would just tell you about what's going on here with when the sunlight is very bright. Here you can see it's producing about 5.3 kilowatt of electricity, which is pretty good. And look at it's bright enough, and it's just 8:15 in the morning in East Maitland in New South Wales. There is plenty of sunlight there, and that's my solar panels on the top. And this is as I said, this is a 10 kilowatt system. It's already producing half of the capacity. You can see the numbers keep changing, and it will rise and rise. By 10 o'clock or 9:30 it will be 10 kilowatt ditto production. All right, thank you. Hello everyone, it's about 10:30 in the morning in East Maitland in New South Wales. There is very good sunlight out there, and my Solaredge inverter here. Let's see, what is it producing now? It's producing, yeah, just about 10 kilowatt, 9.99. It's just 10 kilowatt. Yes. So that's probably may have started producing like that from 9:30 onwards, and that's going to continue by all afternoon until 3 o'clock or 3:30. By 3:30 you can see it is coming down slowly to 8 and 7, and that will continue declining down till 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. because the days are a bit more longer nowadays. Yeah, that's data production, and it's not making any sound or anything. You can touch and feel. There's a mild temperature there. You can feel it. It's not that burning temperature. I can keep my hand there like that, so it's not burning or anything. It's just warm. That's all. So yeah, that's what it is. Thank you. Again, from East Maitland in New South Wales. It's about 3:15 in here, in East Maitland in New South Wales. The sunlight is very bright, and let's check what is our Solaredge HD wave is producing at the moment. It's a 10 kilowatt system. Yes, so it's producing 9.4 at the moment. Yeah, but you can see the numbers keep coming down one by one. Look at that. So from now it's declining. The production is declining, but yeah, from about 10 o'clock onwards it produced a ditto 10 kilowatt, and then now it is coming down slowly, and this will go down like that till 6 o'clock, 6:30. By 7 o'clock, because the days are very long, by 7 o'clock it will touch less than 100 watt, and then it will cut off itself, and it will eventually go to night mode after that. But till that time we have plenty of electricity still. 9.3 kilowatt is just way too much. That's it is. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching.